I still remember that stretch of 2024 like it was yesterday. Humid city nights, cramped condo living, and the constant hum of anxiety sitting in my chest because the board exam was only a few months away. I was staying in a small condominium in the city with my 3 friends. All of us were buried in review materials, practice exams, and the occasional emotional breakdown disguised as a coffee break. And like every other stressed-out 20-something stuck between obligation and burnout, I thought it would be a great idea to distract myself with someone new. That's when I met him. Let's call him Michael. I don't know if it was the boredom, the loneliness, or just the fact that I was tired of thinking about formulas, but I found him attractive right away. He was charming in the beginning. Calm, funny, the type of guy who replied fast, but not too fast. It was as if he mastered the perfect balance of interest and chill. We started talking every day, and then every night. And before I could fully process what I was doing, we were dating, or at least something that felt like dating. Michael was, at first, everything a sane person would want. Respectful, attentive, a good conversationalist. We would be on calls for hours while I lay on my thin condo mattress, staring at the ceiling and listening to his voice fill the room. The only weird thing was that he never showed his face during our calls. He claimed his phone had been stolen and the laptop he was using didn't have a functioning camera. I didn't question it at first, but slowly, little red flags began popping up like notifications I kept swiping away. The biggest one? The way his tone changed whenever the topic got even remotely intimate. Out of nowhere, this man would ask me for explicit selfies, every single time. I shut it down firmly every time. I wasn't comfortable with that, especially online. I told him that straight, but it was like talking to a dog in heat. No, scratch that. A dog in heat at least has the excuse of being an animal. This guy, he was worse, because he knew exactly what he was doing. We'd argue about it a lot. He'd push, I'd refuse, and he'd sulk. Sometimes he'd apologize, sometimes he'd respect my boundaries, only to ask again the next day like we didn't just fight about the same thing. The cycle became exhausting. And yet, despite all of that, I still wanted to meet him in person, to see if this connection was real or if I was just romanticizing a voice on the other end of a screen. But every time, and I mean every time I suggested meeting up, he had an excuse. He had errands, he was busy, he didn't feel well, his schedule was full, he wasn't in the city, he had a family thing, he had an emergency, or the classic, soon. It was always soon, but soon never came. And somewhere between the late night calls, the excuses, the constant sexual pressure, and the growing pit in my stomach, something in me began to shift. Something wasn't right with Michael, and I felt it, long before I admitted it. My friends had been warning me for weeks. Every time Michael dodged a meetup, every time he gave some vague excuse about his broken camera, every time he pushed for explicit photos but refused to show so much as half his face, my friends would exchange looks. Does he not show himself on video call at all? One of them asked one night while we were reviewing in the living room. Not even a quick flash of his face? Another added. I shrugged. His phone got stolen, I reminded them for maybe the 10th time that month, and his laptop camera is broken. They stared at me like I had just announced I believed in unicorns. Marie, come on, one of them said gently. If he really wanted to see you, he would find a way. Even a 10-year-old laptop has a camera. Something's off. I knew they were right. Deep down, I felt it too. But I kept defending him. I kept telling myself he wouldn't call me every day if he wasn't serious. I kept insisting he was just going through something personal. I kept believing the version of the person he pretended to be. Then came December, weeks before Christmas, with that stupid mix of hope and denial swirling in my chest. I finally told him, come over, meet my family, spend Christmas with us. He sounded thrilled. He said yes instantly, no hesitation or excuses. For the first time, I let myself believe that maybe everything would pay off in the end. I pictured a sweet Christmas morning introduction, a cheesy meet my boyfriend moment, a fresh start, maybe even something real. But the day before our meetup, everything shattered. I remember sitting on the condo couch reviewing flashcards when he called me. His breathing was shaky and uneven. At first, I thought he was just stressed. Then I realized he was crying. Can we talk? he whispered. Something in me went cold. It took a while for him to choke it out, but when he finally did, the words hit me like a punch straight to the stomach. I'm a catfish. My heart dropped. He confessed everything. The photos, fake, taken from an Indonesian influencer he'd been pretending to be. His name, fake. His work, fake. His nationality, he lied about everything. My head was spinning so hard, I thought I would throw up. I felt my skin crawl and my face drain of color. It was like he peeled off a mask I didn't even know he was wearing. And then, because apparently the universe wanted the moment to be even worse, he sent me a picture of his real face. He claimed he didn't lie about being 24, but honestly, I've seen uncles in their late 30s who looked younger than him. In that moment, my brain connected all the dots. The way he pushed for explicit photos, the way he'd get sulky and aggressive when I refused, the way he'd avoid meeting up. Knowing what he really looked like, what he really was, made all his past behavior 10 times more uncomfortable. When I told him I wanted to break up, he snapped. He said, "So you're just like the other girls. You only liked me because of the pictures of the guy I used. You never cared about me. You're no different." I was stunned. He lied to me, deceived me, manipulated me, yet somehow I became the villain. He ranted and I cried. He blamed me, then he apologized, and then he begged. He guilt-tripped, like a full cycle of emotional manipulation condensed into 30 minutes. And then came the most unhinged part of it all. He said, "Please just let me stay with your family on Christmas. I already told my parents I won't be home. I have nowhere else to go." I stared at my phone in disbelief. Absolutely not. I muted him. I ignored every message, blocked the numbers, refused to let his chaos bleed into my holiday. And I had a peaceful Christmas with my family, the kind of Christmas I needed. But if things had truly ended there, I wouldn't be writing this. Because Michael didn't stay gone. He didn't accept the breakup. He didn't disappear quietly. And the worst part was still coming. For almost a year, life felt normal again. I focused on myself, my hobbies, and my friends. I became active on Instagram again, something I had stopped doing while dealing with the emotional fallout of Michael's lies. I started posting selfies, little life updates, even some cosplay photos I was proud of. It felt good to exist online without feeling watched. But the one thing I forgot? Michael and I still followed each other. It didn't even cross my mind until it was too late. One night, after posting a few stories, nothing dramatic, just a selfie and a behind the scenes of a new cosplay, I got a notification. One message request, Michael. He replied to my story, "Hey, how have you been?" Just reading his name made something cold crawl up my spine. I didn't open the message. I didn't even breathe for a second. I just locked my phone and tossed it aside, like the words would burn me if I looked at them for too long. I tried to ignore it, but the notifications kept coming. Every few hours, another message. Eventually, I got so sick of it. I opened our chat, and the moment I did, my entire body went cold. Because sitting there, sent just minutes earlier, was a photo of the front of our house. My parents weren't home. It felt like the air was being sucked out of my lungs. My fingers moved on instinct. I locked all the doors in the house, ran upstairs, shut my bedroom door, and locked that too. Then I called the police. While I was on the phone, trying to speak without my voice cracking, I heard knocking. Pounding. He was outside and yelling my name. He yelled, "Please just open the door. We can talk." His voice was desperate and unhinged, a tone I had never heard before. I held my phone so tightly I thought it might crack. I crouched beside my bed, trying not to make a sound while the dispatcher kept me calm, step by step. "We're on the way. Don't come out. Stay on the line." It felt like hours, even though it was probably just minutes. Thankfully, we lived close to a police station. I heard footsteps outside, an officer shouting, and then finally, silence. They arrested him. When they came to the door to check on me, I finally unlocked it, still shaking. The officer who talked to me had a serious look on his face. The officer told me he was holding a knife. I had to grip the door frame to stay upright. He came to my house with a knife. I didn't know if he meant to threaten me, or hurt himself, but none of the possibilities made me feel any better. They were all terrifying. Because of that, I had no choice but to tell my parents everything, every lie he told, and every red flag I ignored. They scolded me, of course, for trusting someone online and for hiding it from them, but underneath the worry and anger, they were relieved that I was alive. My mom hugged me like I came home from war. Thinking back on the words, "he was holding a knife," still give me the chills.